Hey everybody, today I'm working on a 2017 Lexus NX200t F Sport. Wow, that was a mouthful. So it's got this 2-liter turbocharged engine, and the customer came in and said, hey, I have a coolant leak, could you look at my coolant leak? So when we pulled it in, the first thing I noticed is it sounded like it had a bearing going bad. So I went ahead and took out the 10mm bolt here and the 10mm bolt here and got this up out of the way. And you can see the water pump, which is right here. Hey, G Junior. Hey, could you come over and start this thing up real quick so the people in YouTube world can hear the bearing and see the pulley moving around? So G Junior's gonna start it. Go ahead and start it. My friend, all right. The pulley is wobbling, and that is a bearing noise. And if you look, you can't really see it from here, but underneath there is all this coolant stains, most likely coming from the water pump. I did pressure test it, and nothing leaked, but the water pump's got to be changed no matter what, because it is just making a bunch of noise. So it looks like we're gonna have to take the shield down from below so we can move the tensioner. I've never done one of these, but that's how I'm going to do it. There is a wrench end to put there to get the belt off. I think I'm going to do that from underneath to get the belt off, and then we'll start doing the water pump. And I'll also show you the stainage underneath when we come back. Okay, we are up in the air. I took the tire off. I have taken the plastic shield off that goes up in here. It just has 4 of the reusable push pins, if you can get them apart. So as you can see, all the red stainage from the coolant, and you're not going to be able to see it, but the water pump is up there, and it has a passage that comes down for a weep hole, and the weep hole is basically right here. If you get a mirror and go up there, you can see that it's leaking. If you look right, it's kind of hard. Let me get my other camera. If you look right there, I know this is probably overpowering, it's wet. So it's leaking down and dripping all the way here. All right, so we need to draw a map of the belt so we know how the belt goes back on. And this looks like this is a 17. So we're gonna pull probably down on this to loosen the tensioner to get the belt off. That is correct. This comes down so we can get the belt off. I'm going to draw a map so I know how everything goes. And let me get the belt off. I think we can do most of this water pump from up top, but you had to come down here to get the belt off the tensioner. So much easier from coming down here and doing it. Like I said, I've never done one of these, so you all will be learning with me and my mistakes and everything else. So let's get back to it. So let me get the belt off. We'll go back up top and see if we can get this water pump out. Alrighty, I got the belt off, and like I said, it was a 17mm wrench, and actually I've got the wrench kind of like jammed in there, so it's not going to come off. And I made myself a map so I know how the belt goes back on. So here we are up top again, and there's the water pump right here. You know, I think to make this job easier for me, and I think you're going to have to do it, I'm going to go ahead and take this side motor mount stuff apart. So we have a bunch of 17s and 17s, and let's get this out of the way. And we might even have to take this off, which is 14s, just to get it so it's easier to get to, because there's not a lot of room down there, and I don't think the pump's definitely not going to come out through the bottom, so it's going to have to come out through the top. So you're definitely going to have to take all this stuff off. Looks like a bunch of 17s and 14s. Well, let me get this stuff off and we'll be back. Alrighty, so from that time warp you saw I took a whole bunch of bolts out, but there is a stud and a nut under here that I had to get from underneath. I got that one out, and then it still wouldn't move. So then I had to take that stud out. That stud has a 8mm head on it so you could unscrew it. So then after I do that, I put the jack underneath the oil pan with a block of wood, and now this is coming out. The problem was this stud and this stud were binding on each other. So now that I have that out, I hopefully, well, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I didn't need to take those other two out. I don't know if it's going to come. The motor is really tight coming up. So I might have to disassemble this. This piece should slide out of here, but I'm not sure. Let me put you back over here. So I have two hands. Can you see me? No. Let me see if I can get this out. Oh, they got everything crammed in here really tight. The AC lines and everything. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. All right. That was a pain in the butt. All right, so now there's a bunch of 14s here to take out to get this bracket off. And I also unbolted this bracket down here that just sits here. Don't think I really needed to unbolt it, but it probably made it easier. So I just remember, now I just got to remember which way it goes. This, and I'll put an arrow on it. Just went ahead and put a little arrow on it so I know which way it faces. So now that's out also. So now I'll get these 14s out and get down to the pump. Well, I got the camera on, I might as well just go ahead and try getting it out. I might go ahead and take this out before I put all those bracketries back in, just so I don't break it. It's just a ground strap. It bolts down here to the body and to that bracket there. Oh, that one's not coming. I don't want to break. Yeah, those Milwaukee ratchets are great, but you don't want to, they are just plastic, and you don't want to torque on them too much or they might break. So, I'm gonna come in here and break them free. Is there another one? They really go overboard with these side brackets, I'll tell you what. Alright. Now I go back with my doing the completely blind. There might even be another one underneath here too. No, I think I got them all. Yeah, I got them all. So there's 4 on this bracket. And you always want to look to make sure what bolt goes where, because obviously, oh, unbelievable, they're all the same size. Toyota's famous for having different size ones. All right. So we have another bracket out of the way, and it looks like we're gonna have to take this idler out of the way also. I guess I'll just get a 14 wrench, because it's in the way of the water pump. Can you even see what I'm doing? We're gonna take this idler out because it's gonna be in the way of the water pump. Oh man, everything is so tight on this car. It is very, very tight. Did that just cam off of there, or did it come loose? Just cammed off. Man. There we go. God. Everything is super tight. Like, super tight. All right, I'm filming, but what do you need, G Junior? I got it. Got it. I had to start it. As soon as I started, it got it done. All right. Alrighty. So now it looks like the water pump is a bunch of 12 bolts. Let me get in there and start getting all those bolts out, and I'll have to get a drain pan underneath. What if I can take the jack out? Let's see. That kind of dropped a little too low. Let me go ahead and put this back up. Just that little bit has helped me so much already. All right, let me get the drain pan underneath here, and I'll start taking out the water pump bolts. Okay, so I got all 5 bolts out of the water pump, which is here, and if you can hear, I got all the fans on. But actually I did something pretty smart. Got the tensioner down here. I left the wrench on it and kind of had it pulled down. If you have this tensioner up, you are not going to be able to get this lower bolt out, and I'll show you that once I get the water pump out. So I had to shove a piece of wood. That's what, in the time lapse, I shoved a piece of wood, where is it? In between the wrench and the body to hold that down so I could get the bolt out. All the bolts are the same size, luckily. So now it looks like all we have to do is get a screwdriver in here and hopefully just pop it. Now I did look online that Lexus wants to sell you this whole back housing with the thermostat and all that. If you want to replace all that back housing and stuff, more power to you. You've got to remove the exhaust, the turbo, all this intake manifold stuff to get back there. So now with all that stuff out of the way, here comes the water pump right out. And like I said, that's the weep hole right there. And it sits in there like so. So you got 5 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That bolt is the one that you're not going to get out unless you have the tensioner pinned over with a wrench. Or you can take the tensioner out. You can do whatever you want to, but that's the way I thought would be better. All right, and you can see how icky pooey it is right here. That's the weep hole. The weep hole drains it on in lower so it doesn't get all over the belt and make the belt squeak. So this pump, oh here, I'll show you over here. So this is the weep hole section I was telling you about. See how icky pooey it is? It was definitely leaking. Oh, let me see if I can get the water pump to spin so you can hear the noise. Did you hear that? That was the water pump making noise. Come on. That was my finger. Yeah, and can you see the bearing wobbling? No, you probably can't. You need a tripod. Sorry, you don't have a tripod today. So anyway, so yeah, this water pump is definitely bad. So there you have it. That's how you change the water pump on one of these NX200s. Good luck if you ever have to change the thermostat. Good luck if you ever have to change that back housing, because that looks like a big job. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to leave this one here. Nobody ever watches how you put it back together, but you're going to put it back together the same way. You're going to put the water pump in. You're going to tighten all the bolts up to the proper torque specs, which I haven't gotten yet. And I think actually once I get the water pump in, I'm going to go ahead and put the belt in now before I put all this other stuff in to make it easier. And then you just got to burp the cooling system. G Junior said that he saw a coolant system bleed right there, because I don't think my vacuum bleed system thing is going to work on this tank. So we were going to bleed the system there. And alrighty, okay, so I think I'll leave it here. Not too bad of a job. A lot of stuff to take apart. That was a pain in the butt, the bracket tree. So all right, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner there. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the automotive videos.